In this video, I'm going to show you the solve for an age-old problem, which is label length. So right here, we are in our 1.10 version of VividCharts. And if we look at this chart, it's a horizontal bar chart. It doesn't seem like anything's wrong. However, if we select that chart, we can see that the container of that chart is overlapped by the length of that label. So two places where this becomes a problem for some people is if I put a border around the chart or if I put a container color behind the chart, then that label starts to bleed over. Another place that it sometimes comes up, even though there's ways to solve for it today already, but sometimes this will come up when you go to export this to a PowerPoint or PDF. So the question is, how can this be solved? If you may think that you could just move the bounds of the chart and then try to give it more space, but the way the charts work is there's some real estate dedicated to labeling and some to the visual. And so as you move the size of the chart, that it gets smaller, things adjust, but the visual adjusts, not the label sizing. That does not adjust at all. So it is frustrating and can be a problem. But in 2.0, that is solved. So let's go over to 2.0. So now we're in the 2.0 version. And here you can see that we have even longer label, and it's still sitting inside the bounds of the chart. We have a chart container color, which is white behind this, which allows the chart to have this nice box around the whole thing. And what happens here is, so one question you may ask is, what if I want a smaller chart? So we will start making this smaller, and notice that the visual starts to change, which is what happened before. But at a certain point, we start to get the label to also adjust. And notice that what starts happening is the label starts to truncate. Now, if you go really small, you may tell yourself that doesn't look very good either, because now my visuals are too small and the visuals less than the length of the labels. So we have a fix for that also. So this is just the default setting for these values. But if I go into my style, I go into my data labels, and I scroll down, and I go into my y-axis, because y-axis is where the labels are, and I start changing the slider. I can manually set the percentage of the chart that I want to be label and the percentage of the chart I want to be visual. And so in this case, I actually want more visual than label, because I think I can tell what's being shown here by the assignment group just by the very first part of the label. I don't need the whole thing. So now, if we extend the chart, it obeys that percentage. So I think you can see how impactful this can be when you're trying to get real precise with the design that you want, and then not having to worry about those overlapping labels that you may have had in the past.